All right. Hi, Minamo. I believe you're the only one in, unless Gaza is another person that I don't recognize. So welcome to the stream. Practical Snow is right here with me.
Hello.
So let me switch over to Blood Bowl real quick. If my computer would like to recognize Blood Bowl, that'd be great. There we go. So we were just taking some looks at a team. So yeah, 3A, pretty good div. Minamo, since you're the only one in right now, I guess we can start with you. Hello, Minamo. I just saw your message. Are you cool with that, Practical?
That works for me.
All right. So, Minamo, you came from 2A, if I'm remembering correct. Um, should be right. Yeah, 2A. So, you know. All right. So yeah, we were just actually discussing your team. It looks pretty good. I'm liking all the Mighty Blow Claw you got. That's gonna be very, very useful. Let's see.
He's got three potential ball carriers here, which is always nice to have the options.
Oh, absolutely, especially on Chaos. Um, yeah, and the two Legend Beastmen are pretty nice to have too. I'm liking the two heads options on both the Beastmen down here. and your naming scheme's pretty good too. I didn't recognize it at first, but it's now hit me. Alright.
Good amount of stat ups, not too much so that it's just pure bloat, but just what you want. Some
Yeah,
strength would have been nice, but you can't control that.
exactly. And yes, you will be giving wizards to pretty much everyone. But that's just Blood Bowl. Um, but overall,
It
I think.
looks.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know that I would run 13 players in this division because there's not. You're the bashiest team. I don't know that you need a bench that's too deep.
True.
But that's personal preference.
Yeah. I don't know. You got a kind of a small bank, but if you want to, getting rid of you're gonna get fouled a lot. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of dirty player in this div, so I can see where you'd get that from. But that is, I mean, you got
And it's
100.
nice to have the three unskilled to throw on the line so your initial line hits don't hurt.
That's true, but he is wrapping up 180k into those beastmen. Um, which when you're compared to the rest of these guys, you know, pretty high up there. That could give away a lot to people.
Or he could just play Spagooters round one, and Spagooters will trim his team for him.
True. Let's see, I didn't take any note. Okay, so you'd have to do some tackle on your team, so that's gonna be really good in this div, especially with the Skaven and the elves. Or maybe you trim his. That's true. Do you have any close levels here? The Beastmen, but young Sheldon's getting kind of close. So is Pounder here. I have more claw and pylon than anyone else to do it easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the Norse team, well, one of the Norse teams has about the same amount of claw piling on, I believe. Or not claw, but at least piling on.
Yeah, one of the Norse teams had a good amount.
Yeah. All right. So overall, I think your team is in a decently good position. The only thing that concerns me is the TV here. 2A, I mean, 2 is, I feel like, almost always a bashy div. Like, no matter what you're in. because, bash teams usually survive longer.
Yeah, I think that's part of why he has such the deep bench, because he just came from a super bashy div.
Yeah, I'd definitely have the bench if I was in that div. But overall, I think your team's in a good spot for the at least this first week. It's hard to kind of tell since you don't really know what your first matchup's gonna be. All right. Oh, Sir Kodiak's a good coach too. All right. So, what's your overall thoughts? Practical.
I think if he can take care of people's inducements and manage that well, this team's got a good shot of a good season. Inducements are always a little scary when you're talking elves and Skaven, because it's that wizard that is pretty much a free touchdown half the time.
Yeah, exactly. So managing that, almost the guaranteed wizard, um, it's gonna be the real challenge for you this season. Oh, hey,
But
Doof. How's it
but if you
going?
can survive I mean, that's going to be the name of your game most of your weeks, is survive that wizard without giving up a touchdown, and you've got most of the games on just strength alone beyond.
Yeah, Doof, you haven't missed yourself yet. We started on Minamo, so um, let's see. All right, so I guess from here we will go on. We'll just kind of shoot down the lane here. So we'll go over Sunhawk's team. All right, so we got Dark Elves. Kind of well, honestly, the average elf team with less than 11 players. It's definitely feeling this one in my season 11 Dark Elf team. So, not some good development on this Blitzer, and I'm liking the Witch down here. Other than that, it's pretty standard. Um, Good amount of wrestle on the team.
Got a good second Witcher's the Sacker. So he's got a Sacker Witcher, and he's got a nice blitzing general purpose pain with blitz or witch,
Mhm.
not blitzer witch. But so it's nice to have both of those.
Yeah, I will say I did notice this earlier when I was looking at the team. This injured Witch, I honestly would have put block instead of wrestle, just because I know from experience that witches love to die, and almost every hit you take is basically like, all right, she gonna die now. So I don't know.
So I guess the question is, when did that injury come? Before or after it already had wrestle?
I believe it was after, because I believe it would put it before, right? I'm not crazy. Maybe I am. I haven't played Blood Bowl in like 2 months.
I thought injuries always went at the end.
um,
I don't
that's
really
possible.
remember.
Um, but yeah.
But all in all, I mean, you've got two guards, which for an elf team is pretty decent.
All right, I heard the notification. Don't know who that was. Whoever it was, thank you. I will check in a second. um, yeah, I'm liking the guard on the two linemen. Um, that's definitely always a useful thing. Let's see. That's weird. It is not
But yeah,
notifying me of that.
it, his biggest thing that he's going to need to do here is just get that team up to full. Dark elves usually want a full team, unlike the pro elves and the wood elves that are okay playing short.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, whoever's following, thank you all so much. For some reason, my Twitch is not notifying me of it. So, thank you, whoever follows. Message me, and I will give you a shout out next time, or you can message right now, and I'll give you a shout out. But yeah, kind of a standard blitzer here. I like the sidestep. That's always a good choice. Um, I like the fact that he doesn't have a runner. I do not like the runners at all.
I'm with you on.
Yeah. Dump off, people say it's a great skill, but if you're using dump off, then you're doing something wrong.
That's
That's
the problem. Is dump off already implies you messed up.
yeah. That's my thoughts on dump off. um, which I definitely do things wrong, but dump off shouldn't encourage you to do things wrong. So overall, I think this team does have potential. It really depends on what the early season looks like for it. If it goes up against a lot of the chaos teams that are in, um, it could have a struggle season. But if it kind of goes up against the elves and Skaven early on, it probably will do well. That's my predictions.
I agree. I think by week 3 or 4, we're going to know what this whole season is going to look like, depending on whether his TV is going up or down.
Absolutely. It's at a good TV right now too for this division. So I'd like to see
I mean,
that
you got to
TV.
remember it's actually higher than that because he's going to have 2 loners.
True, true. Um, which are always good. You know, good linemen to just put up where you don't want people to get hit.
Exactly. They make good roadblocks.
Exactly. I love getting extra linemen on an elf team. So yeah. All right. So let's move on to the next team, which is Das Schuttenheim, if I believe I'm pronouncing that correct. Orksploitation Cinema. There we go. I did that twice earlier today and messed it up both times.
Or exploitation. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it looks like.
All right. So.
So
Oh,
right off the bat, and that thrower, and that's disgusting. That's
yeah.
better than an elf thrower.
Now, I love this thrower. I absolutely do. My only problem is he has nobody to throw to.
And that's a problem, but he still makes a decent runner.
Oh,
Other than
absolutely. He
being
makes it.
slow.
Yeah, the movement 5 is the only thing that doesn't make him a decent runner in my mind. If only he had like a
But
movement
you
up.
but this guy with the 5 agility can bust through screens and stuff, so it gives you a mobility that orcs usually don't have.
That's very true. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what he could really do that would mess him up in the long term to get like a good thrower out of or a good catcher out of somebody. Um,
I mean, honestly, he just needs another agi up. That's the only way you get an orc into a good catcher.
yeah, yeah, that's really the only option there. And the problem is once you have that agi up, you might be sacrificing depending on, who it is. Sacrificing good
Exactly.
development. Um, I'm loving the
That's the one
strength
problem with the
5.
orc thrower always. When you finally get a good orc thrower, he's got nothing to use half his skills on.
Exactly. And of course he's the armor 8 guy where everyone else is 9. So
Exactly.
you definitely want to protect him, especially now that he has that 2 agi up. I love this
I also
blitzer
noticed his
too.
blitzer,
Yeah.
strength, and so he took break tackle on him. So that's the nice cage breaker right there.
Did he take last? Is this the guy who took last season off? No, it's a different guy, isn't it? Because there is
Nope.
one
This
person
is
who
the
actually
one that did
did.
not play last season.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And he was promoted, or he was in 3B, I believe. For season 11.
I mean, I think this. If I was to pick the team to win the division, it would be this one.
You think so?
Ones I was looking at, this is the one I like.
Yeah. This is definitely a quality team. I would be surprised if it doesn't end up in like the top 4th of the div. I would be shocked. But yeah, I think this team's in a really good position to start off this season. He does want to get, some more block or guard on these linemen, but other than that, he's looking at a great place. He also wants to get Joe in a better place. You always hate to see that movement bust because they're already slow. But as long as he can get like something like stand firm or something, he can make a good roadblock for people.
Yeah, he just, I mean, and they're so hard to level too that
Yeah.
that's just a hard one.
And this AV9 on the Black Orc is it's wrong. It's actually AV7 in my experience. These Black
Yeah,
Orcs just go down so easily. So yeah. All right, let's move on to your wolf with the Bifrost Guardians. We actually
I
are
think
gonna
it's pronounced
have
Urwolf.
Urwolf. Okay, we're actually gonna have a Battle of the Bifrost this season. So that's pretty exciting. So we'll see who has the best Bifrost. I believe it's Doof with the other Bifrost team. And we'll get to him in a little bit. So immediately looking at this team, this Berserker is gonna
Oh,
be
did you
a
see
great.
Minamos that he's the one who hurt that Black Orc?
Oh, I missed that. Well, that's an interesting one.
Well, he's going to be looking for revenge in that game.
Exactly. I know we have a couple of kind of vengeance games that are going to happen this season. Um, I believe that's one, Minamo versus I've already forgotten your name, sorry. Das Schuttenheim. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. Um, so yeah, we got a really, really good Berserker here with that Agi up. That's gonna prove to be quite a pain for people. Um,
I
especially
don't like guard on the other Berserker. I don't like guard on Berserkers.
yeah, I don't either. Berserkers should definitely be the one punching and not the one supporting the punch, in my opinion. Um,
Exactly. So I mean, I get it. There's not a lot of skills to take, but I think I would have gone with tackle first.
yeah, absolutely. Get that. As much I love tackle. Tackle's a great skill. Um,
As much as the Norse need the guard, putting it on the Zerkers is just too painful to me.
yeah. I mean, I think honestly, I would have taken guard on this lineman. If well, actually, I don't play Norse too often. Okay,
Well,
no.
they
So
can
they
only
don't.
get,
They have to roll for that.
and that's usually what you use your Ulfwarners for,
Yeah.
is to be your guards, your big guards, and then any doubles on the lineman obviously is going to take guard.
Um.
But I just don't like it on the Zerkers. But I understand what he's doing because he only has two other guards, so he needed more guard. But I feel in the long run that's going to come back and just be wasted level.
Yeah. Especially if it's not like a immediate sort of level, because then you start getting into these 20 SPP needed and stuff like that, where it really starts to slow down and you kind of get stuck in a rut if you choose the wrong skill. Um,
On
let's
the other
see.
hand, I love these runners
The runners are really good, especially the movement up's great to have.
get
Cause
a
that,
nice solid lodge ball carrier.
hmm yeah, the side stuff was, I honestly wouldn't have thought of that on a runner for a Norse team, but that's definitely a good thing to
And I
have.
really like that on North teams because then you can base a corner with the runner. And if they try to get you off and they fail, now you're in the cage.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, sidestep's always a good skill, but sidestep on ball carriers is probably the best utilization of it. That or
Which is,
witches. Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. I took sidestep on every single one of my witches in my first season, because I just was so worried about them getting yeeted out of the field. All right.
But so what this team needs most, in my opinion, is that it needs the money to get that second Ulfwarner,
Absolutely.
and that just needs to stay alive, which is the eternal problem with Norse.
Yeah, that AV7 doesn't help.
So I mean, Norse either go great and they have a great season, or they lose a couple key players and they spend the rest of the season just losing players and cycling players the rest of the season.
Yeah, yeah, that's the eternal struggle with Norse.
which is the main reason you need that other strength forward. You need something to defend your players with.
Yeah, it's also the main reason they usually do well in a first season, but struggle once they get up to, these higher divisions. So it's gonna
Now,
be interesting to see how these guys perform.
was he in the playoffs?
I don't. I think he was in
He was.
Challengers.
I don't think he was. Oh, that was the one thing I mentioned about. So the one thing you look at his team, he was the only team to promote from Division 4 with a negative TV differential.
Ah, okay, right. I remember there was something about him.
And
Yeah.
that tells me that that's a scary team because
Hmm.
he's not flashy, he doesn't win big, but he still manages to win. He pulls those wins out.
Yeah. Usually,
And
go ahead.
I was just saying that's a scary thing to see. Like you want when a winning team has tons of touchdowns, that means they're an agi team. They just score all over the place. When a winning team has negative touchdowns, that means they're just beating the tar out of everybody.
Yeah, from my experience, it's usually like if you see that giant TD difference, whether it's negative or positive, that usually means they with the positive it means they might not do the fundamentals well, but they're still getting that. They might have a one turner or something like that that's getting them the points. But when you see that like really low TD difference, but a good record, that means like okay, this guy he's just like trying to do some solid blood bowl.
And the one thing that would say, if I was playing him, looking at that, I would say, you know what? I can't let this guy get ahead because he knows how to play defense.
Yeah,
He can hold that 1-0 win and just hold it.
exactly. Yeah, and when you have all this block, it's not too challenging to do that. Which is one of the reasons I hate facing Norse teams is all this block they have. It'll be um it'll be a good thing there's a lot of wrestle in the stiff to kind of offset that, but it'll be definitely interesting to see how these guys perform. So,
I'm looking forward to it.
absolutely. All right. So we covered Minimo. So let's go to Jericho Peppers with the Skaven team. So right off the bat, there's a one turner. So there's your target for this season, guys. um,
He's got a claw vermin. It doesn't have mighty blow yet, but that's going to become scary later.
yeah, it will definitely become scary later. The mighty blow piling on Storm Vermin.
Yeah, you got that, and then you have the other gutter runner. That's the perfect strip sacker.
You got a strength 4 lineman here with guard, so that'll be a painful piece to play against.
And then you got another guard here, which is always good for Skaven to pick up extra guard.
Oh, absolutely. That's one thing with this team that I was like, when I originally looked at it, I was like, they just need more guard. Like, that's my immediate reaction.
Yeah,
Maybe
and then
another
the
dirty
deeper
player as well.
there's Skaven.
Yeah. Kick is great. I love kick on Skaven.
Yeah,
Because with
elves
that,
and Skaven pretty much have to take kick. It's just too good.
yeah, especially with this movement 10 gutter runner, like kick is a great skill to have on your team. But yeah, if I were to suggest anything, it would be pick up some more guard for the team, and another dirty player would be great.
And then try to feed some touchdowns to these unleveled gutters. I mean, it's tempting to just give the ball to and that looks like what's happening here is it's always give the ball to that one turner.
Yeah,
But these other gutters need to get a couple levels too.
I'm actually curious to see his stats on this gunner. So 39 matches. Yeah, I mean, it's been with the team for a while, so it could just be a case of these gutters are new. But
And that's probably it too.
yeah,
So it could just be the early season is going to be he's going to want to try to level those gutters
yeah,
and not fall for the temptation of just give it to the amazing guy.
yeah. Because I've seen it with a lot of Skaven. I've even done it myself, where um, they have these really good gutters, but then in one or two games they're dead. So and then they
Exactly.
have nothing. So he definitely wants to get these. Oh hey Fenny, he definitely wants to get these gutters leveled as soon as possible. And that's gonna be the easiest to do at the start of this. um, because more experience means more chances for these gutters to die. So yeah, but with any Skaven team, they have the potential to do well. So it'll be
I
interesting
mean, a
to.
1,000 Skaven team can beat a 2,000 any team just if your gutters perform.
Oh, absolutely, and especially going up against potentially 2,200 team, it's gonna be inducement heaven for these Skaven. So
It really is. So if he picks his inducements right, that's what I think the key to him is just, and we're going to learn how on point his inducement is, because if he gets the right inducements, he's turned any TV difference into gotten rid of that disadvantage.
yeah, yeah, this will be really, really an interesting team to follow, especially with you know, potential to see some wizards on this team. With this one turner, that's really scary for potential opponents. So
It really is.
yeah. All right. So that's my thoughts on this team. Do you have any others before we move on?
Nope, I think we covered.
All right. So, Dr. Spagooter, so you have some experience with this team, right?
So I was in his division last season. We had a 6-way tie for first place. He was the third of those 6 in far touchdowns. He's just got a solid team, and he's got that one bull that is just disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only thing in my opinion that would make this bull better is, a potential sure hands, but that's, yeah.
Taking personally sure hands instead of that break tackle. Break tackle actually came the game after he beat me.
Mhm. So that,
It was a
yeah.
it was a bloody game. Yeah, he's a good player. He's definitely solid. He did play against Bill as well, Bill to win,
Mhm.
and Bill is actually the one who broke a winning streak off of him, and basically took him out of. I mean, he still made it to the CC, but made it so he was no longer the top contender.
Yeah, I remember noting down that that was one of the rivalry games that I'd have to pay attention to is Spagooters and Bill because I'm sure Spagooters is not happy with what happened during that game. So this that game will definitely be an interesting one to watch. And I think this team in general will be interesting to watch, even though it is, Chaos Dwarves. But
So the one thing I don't like about his team, don't like wrestle on the Hobgoblins.
oh yeah,
I would have
that's a weird
maybe
one.
one wrestle Hobgoblin, but I definitely would have taken a second dirty player before a second wrestle.
Yeah, especially a Chaos Dwarf team. I don't see the need for this much wrestle, but definitely dirty player is always great on a Chaos Dwarf.
When you only have one claw, so you don't have consistent enough removal.
Yeah, and that claw doesn't even have mighty blow. So
But I know, having played him, I know he's a good coach, and I know that he's going to be a scary person for anyone to fight. I mean, that Bull Centaur can almost win games by itself.
yeah. Here, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. All right. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching this team closely over the season. These guys I think have the potential to do fantastic this season. Um,
Yeah, if
they're
he can keep up the way he played against me, he's going to be a top contender.
mhm. In fact, I think this might be my
One
pick for playoffs.
one biggest threat I see is if he ends up having to fight that Mynamo's team early. Mynamo's superior claw is gonna hurt.
Hmm. Absolutely, yeah. That's one big problem with the team is not enough claw, and especially with the claw not having mighty blow. That's you always want to get that in there. But at least he does have a good amount of mighty blow to
Yeah,
back that up.
that's
Yeah, and a good amount of guard as well.
fine. to the other bashy teams, and then it just becomes one of those races to outbash.
Hmm. Um, yeah, this hobgoblin's pretty good. But the problem is the fact that this bull centaur exists. I would rather give it to the bull. So that'll be a.
Exactly. Although the extra movement on that hobgoblin makes it so. I mean, it's nice to have a second choice.
It's always good to have backup. In my opinion, I probably would leave this hob off the field until needed because I
I
don't.
think I would too.
Yeah,
Want is if something happens with my bull, I do want a ball carrier, and so then that's when you put this guy on.
exact. Because that's a big, you know, one big deal with cast dwarfs in general is potential for carrying the ball. So yeah, I'd definitely keep this guy off the field until he's actually needed. So yeah, all right, let's move on. But yeah, he's definitely my pick for playoffs, I think. So on to regular
Ice.
dwarves with Ice and Mike. So yeah, I'd say this is a pretty standard dwarf team. A lot of guard.
I mean,
Um,
is there any dwarf team that's not standard? Is there any way to build them?
there, you know what? There, where there's a will, there's a way. I've seen some weird combos with different teams. Thick Skull Wolf
Eisen, I
was
just
up there.
think dwarf teams are boring.
I do too, personally. No offense to your dwarf players, but I would not ever play a dwarf team. But and I hate going up against them, which I guess kudos to you guys. Um, but yeah, a good amount of guard. Might need some more stand firm just to back that up, but that's definitely going to
He's
be
got
difficult to deal
his
with.
troll slayers look like they're built pretty average and correctly.
Hmm. Yeah, that absent troll slayer will be interesting for the first game.
I do not like the first runner having wrestle, so I'm going to assume his other runner used to be a ball carrier and
Hmm.
died
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's weird to have your first runner be a wrestler.
absolutely. So I definitely want to get passing skills. Why this? And it's definitely the second. So that's yeah, that's definitely what happened. Um, if you're in, I don't know if you're in right now the chat, but if you are, please tell us if that's exactly what happened because that's what it looks like. But I definitely want to get him skilled up as fast as possible. Um,
But yeah, it's your standard dwarf team, and it's going to come down to if he can play dwarfs well, he's going to have a great season because it's very developed.
oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that I feel like that's always the thing with dwarfs. If you play well, you're gonna have a good season. If you don't, you're gonna have a terrible season. So,
I think
um,
dwarfs can be a trap for that reason because you see someone play him well and do amazing, and then you try to play him yourself, and it's like, why can't I do that?
yeah. I mean, let's be honest. With Skaven, there's you got some backup with that speed, but you got not much going on. Hey Jericho, we just covered your team. Um, but yeah, you don't have much backup when you're playing
Exactly.
dwarves.
So you
Yeah.
got to do it right.
Let's see. We can give you a quick summary, Jericho. Basically, suggestion: get these gutters leveled up as fast as possible, and I'd like to see more Garden, another dirty player. So that's about it. I mean,
Okay, and that's what we thought
okay,
must have happened. It's just we were just saying that if we were playing them, don't fall for the trap of giving the ball to the one turner every time, but let these other guys score.
yeah, exactly. All right. But yeah, your team has some really good. Claw room is more important than level right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely want to see a level in this claw. Okay. Yeah, but and especially in this division, you're gonna get you have the potential to get wizards, so that'll be an interesting one to see with your one turner. So, but that's about it for your team. It's got some good development in key players. Definitely need to get those other players leveled up though. All right, so we are on to the Wood Elf team, which is always fun to see. And boy, oh boy, this Wood Elf team. This 10 movement War Dancer is scary.
Turning War Dancer,
Yes.
almost. He just needs sprint on that puppy.
Mm. Yeah, he does. He absolutely needs sprint on that. Let's see. It's always good to have a movement up tree.
Yeah, I saw that. That's huge. That's almost better than jump up because you can more useful when he's on his feet. It's like jump up's only useful when you're down. That movement up is good when you're on your feet too.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest, I am surprised by the grab instead of the guard first, because I feel like I would have taken guard
I'm
first.
going to agree with you, unless some of this other guard was already in play.
Hmm.
I think he's good. One thing I like about the grab most is that really helps with that one turning War Dancer.
Hmm. Yeah, that's definitely true. I don't know. I just always love that, high strength guard because it's so
And
useful.
that's usually the point of the tree man is to be your pivot guard.
Yeah,
But that one, but the ability to pull someone in and save your blitz, to give the War Dancer's push and still have your blitz left instead of having to leap is a big deal.
very true.
So
Um,
I'm gonna assume to be beneficial here, since is that he had at least one of these movement ups, maybe both, before he took that grab, and that's what he was thinking.
mhm. That could be definitely possible. Yeah, let's see. These movement busts really they suck. I mean, it's not too bad because they're still movement 7.
Yeah, but on catchers, I mean that kind of makes the catchers not doing their main function anymore.
Yeah.
They have guard instead, so they're still doing something, but that hurts.
Yeah, they're leveled up enough that I would definitely keep them, but it's one bad move away from okay, you're gone. But um, yeah, that
The
that
one thing I
definitely
don't like about the game, I
sucks.
don't like that leap on that lineman.
Oh yeah, Lyman leap. Yeah.
I mean, other elf teams, sure, take it, but you already have 2 leaps. Now, I get it, it's trying to get that wrestle leap,
Hmm.
but still, there's other things I would have taken before I go to leap.
Yeah, I feel like that's a kind of bloaty on a guardman or a guardman lineman. Um, the Agi 5 lineman, that's always great. That is,
Any Agi 5 elf is an amazing thing to have.
yeah. And again, 2 more movement busts. Apparently, it's either apparently you can only roll movement or get movement taken away on this team. Because there's a lot of it.
But what
The
else with 3-4 guard? That's huge. Like, what else never get that much guard? So that's a big deal right there.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Yeah, and the movement doesn't really. It's not a huge deal in these linemen, so I can see why you keep them or kept them. Oh
Well,
my gosh, I can't speak today.
and especially since his movement busts are all on guard players except the one.
Yeah,
If you're Wood Elves, you just can't fire a guard player. You can't do it.
yeah, it's definitely too important. What do you think of the 2 wrestle linemen?
I like wrestle on Wood Elves fast enough to get up and recover from wrestling someone down the next turn.
Mhm.
Usually, the person they're wrestling doesn't have the same luxury.
Yeah,
So I really like wrestle on Wood Elves.
mhm. Yeah, I could agree with that. I don't not a huge wood elf fan. I love elves, but wood elves are the ones I'm like, I'll play someone else. But yeah, this will be a very depending on if you can keep these guys alive. This will be a very fun team to watch.
Yeah, Wood Elves always are. I mean, even when Wood Elves are. Wood Elves is always a fun game to watch because either you're getting to watch all the cool Agi plays
Or you're
or you
watching
get to
elves
watch a bunch of
die.
elves die.
Yeah, and that's always fun unless you're that elf coach.
It's a
um,
win-win for everybody
yeah,
except the elf coach.
yeah. Um, So yeah, this team definitely has a lot of potential. It's really going to be on if they can utilize the tools they have. So
Yeah, and he's just potentially in troubles because of some of those super bashy teams.
yeah, yeah, and with these movement busts, there's you know it's going to be difficult for him to get these players out of harm's way. Um,
I feel like the game that busts his team, he's still going to win it, but then it's going to be the rest of the season that he's struggling.
mhm, yeah, I mean they can still do a lot with linemen, like loner linemen, but it's definitely going to lower
So it's not
the
the lineman
threat.
I'm worried about. It's the fact that his catchers aren't developed to be anything besides guards, really.
Mhm.
So really, his team is those two war dancers.
That's true, and he doesn't have any like real passing potential. Um, well, he kind of
So
does, but with the two
I mean,
busted catchers,
if somebody takes out those war dancers, I mean that's what it comes down to. If you're playing him, it's those war dancers or nothing.
yeah, especially that movement 10.
Especially him.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if he can survive long enough to do well in this division. So yeah, all right, let's move on now to our second Norse team, Doof, and a pretty, in my opinion, a pretty standard Norse team. Not too much development, I believe. Yeah, Doof got promoted from Div 5, so this is only a one season team here. But this strength for Berserker is a great piece to have. Um,
Yeah, that strength for a berserker is going to be huge.
yeah. Um, a decent amount of tackle. I personally would like more. Um, just because I'm a huge fan of tackle. I like the dirty
And
players here.
I, with you on the tackle, I like it. Although I think for a one season team, that looks right. It's just that he skipped up a season and now he looks like he's short.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying like that he should have more development because I mean my team just came from Div 5 and it's not that developed. But I definitely like to see getting more tackle as this continues. And he also does have a level right here. So Big Chungus, let's see what Big Chungus can do.
I think it's interesting that neither of these Norse teams went with the Yeti. You
Yeah,
don't have to go with it. Just it's one of those about half coaches do, half don't, and these two both made the decision to go without.
yeah. This may be my like inner lizardman talking, but I love big guys. I take rat ogres, which you probably shouldn't. Um, I would take a Yeti, and I take the Crocs every time because Crocs is
I
life.
mean, cheat with my big guys and just get the ones without loner. So
Yeah.
undead coach. So
Um, Trolls are the only ones I don't really like, but
it's ours personally either, but
yeah. But that's it's whatever. But yeah, I for a one season Norse team, I'm definitely liking the development that's happened. Um,
I like the deeper bench.
yeah,
Versus
deeper bench is gonna be great. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
with those dirty players. Oh, you're fine. Especially with those dirty players, then you don't have to worry as much. If I get ejected, no big deal. I've got backup.
Yeah, and a good amount of guard for one season. Um, two mighty blows, so that's gonna be good. Um, yeah, I mean it's really gonna depend on if that armor 7 can hold throughout the season. So you can get that
It's yeah.
development
I
in.
just think pick up on development from some good early games. He's got a real shot.
Yeah. Now between Doof and I'm sorry that I keep forgetting you guys the names here. But oh, Urwolf. Between those two, I Urwolf has the better team in my opinion. Just because of the development he has, but
He's had more time to do it, so it's
yeah. But hey Doof, prove me wrong, you know. Beat him in the Norse off and I'll take back my words and declare you the better Norse team. So yeah, I mean that's my opinions on that team. Do you have anything else?
No, that's pretty much it for me too.
Yeah. And to the high elf team. So it's always interesting to see a high elf team, in my opinion, in divs. Um,
What from Division 5 as well?
I can find that out in just one moment. Yes, 5B. So he had a really good record too, 9-2-2.
I was gonna say for 1 season old, that's some nice development.
hmm it definitely is. Which, you know, I think high elves have the hardest development track out of any of the elf teams, in my opinion. Just
They're
because,
definitely rough to start with, although they do get really good once they get it.
mhm, because you have these armor 7 players, so it's not like, you know, catchers are so easy to kill. It's like having wood elves on your team basically. And then, this thrower, I guess his thrower might have died. That would be my guess because I
Yeah,
don't
there's no way he has
yeah,
much development. Only 2 passes.
yeah.
He must have lost
I don't
thrower. Actually, you know
see
what? I know he did. He lost it in the I think in the like last game of the season, or was it in the cup?
yeah, because, I I can't even imagine a high elf team without a thrower. um
I mean, I've seen people do it, but to me, it's like why play high elves then? That's the one thing the high elves have is that really amazing starting thrower.
yeah, at that point might as well play dark elves. Um but yeah, some good development. Um I'd like to see this lineman get either guard or kick. I
I
mean,
would say
yeah,
kick. I mean, high elves
yeah,
probably won't kick.
yeah. You definitely. I was like,
If you
kind
get
of,
double, take guard, obviously,
yeah.
but
But I don't know. I mean,
I don't like this Splitzer Dauntless Frenzy.
I don't like the frenzy.
I like one or the other. You either go Dauntless or Frenzy, so you get 2 hits, or you go Dauntless.
Yeah,
But
that's
you don't usually want to take 2 hits on that big guy because it's really hard to get enough
yeah,
to make that safe twice. You know.
yeah. I don't, I don't like frenzy that much in general because it can get you into such bad positions. But
Yeah, I mean Dauntless by itself, I
especially,
wouldn't say anything, but
especially
I
without
just
sidestep.
or without Mighty Blow to make that second hit really important,
Yeah,
or even tackle if you're going for a sack.
yeah. Definitely. I feel like this blitzer Helm's Deep was as disastrous as you know the books. So
I just really think there should be. I mean, to me, it's always there's only two. The first 2 skills for any blitzer, unless you get doubles, are always going to be dodge and tackle for high
yeah,
elves.
yeah, absolutely. Um, you know, started off good with this dodge, but kind of trailed off there.
The only
Um,
thing I think is maybe he looked at the remainder of his season. He had a bunch of orcs and lizardmen,
yeah,
and just like I need dauntless, I need something to fight those orcs, but I don't know. That's going to hurt you long term, I think.
I mean, definitely when this guy levels tackle. I mean, if you take anything else, I think that's a mistake, other than like a strength up or something.
Yeah, well, a mighty blow if you get the doubles, because if you've got friends, you might as well turn them into a killer.
Yeah, but then the problem is with this, if you don't have tackle, it's like, well, dodge exists.
True. And you start aiming him at the opponent's killers as much as possible because those don't usually have dodge.
Yeah, yeah. So other than that, though, I mean, this movement 9 catcher is good. It's not great, but
He's on his way.
yeah.
I don't like. I mean, it's unfortunate he rolled movement up after taking wrestle
hmm
because usually you want your movement 1 to be your ball carrier. But
The only positive I can see with that is he has the potential to get very quickly to where he needs to be to wrestle that ball.
right, and he will become a good sacker.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
just
but it,
I prefer my movement up to go on my ball carriers.
yeah, I love this Fen sidestep. I love
Oh
that.
yeah, that's always a fun
Yeah.
combination. I mean that one looks like the one that you put out there to catch the ball
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
he's gonna have a hard time getting rid of your scoring threat that way.
Hmm.
And
Um,
having played high elves, usually you put that guy out there, he never actually gets the ball. They're worried so much about him that then you just run it up the other side.
yeah, it's the whole potential threat kind of mess with your mind kind of thing. But other than that, like pretty. I mean, this is a one season team, so I can't say too much. But
For one season, this looks beautiful.
yeah, yeah. I think the only misstep is the splitzer here.
I agree with you.
So it'll be interesting. He doesn't have a full team, so he will get a loner in the first game, unless he decides. Well, yeah, he could buy a lineman, but I think you just want to keep that bank. Um, so yeah, that'll be an
Yeah, I think
interesting
the
team.
bank in case you lose a positional so you can replace it quickly.
Absolutely, especially on an elf team. So yeah, that's fall. All right, and then Rar is the last one.
He's the other chaos
Or
team, right?
yeah, I almost thought I said his name wrong for a second. um, so let's see. Not a ton of development. I believe he's also a Division
He
5
is.
team.
He's a
Yeah.
one season team.
Hmm. So I'm liking the Claw Mighty Blow here. I'm liking the guard. So all good
He's got
development.
the stacker build.
Hmm. Um,
I mean, he has all the
yeah,
basic tools you'd expect from a one season team.
yeah. It's a pretty standard chaos build right now.
The only thing that's different than standard, and I'm not saying it's wrong, is the block first on the Beastman. Most chaos teams usually will do uh, Mighty Blow, Claw, piling on, and then block on their first Beastman.
Hmm. Well,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what I see a lot of.
I can understand the want for block. It's the same reason you get block first on a Chaos Warrior. It's because you have these, 3 team rerolls, which he definitely didn't start out with. So I can understand block.
And it does look like there was a Beastman once here that died.
Yeah,
And who knows what that looked like.
but pretty standard for a Chaos team. I think he might struggle, to be quite honest, just because that
He's in
Div
such a
5
developed
jump.
division.
Yeah, that Div 5 jump's so hard to do, and if you don't kind of tailor your team for that next season, it could get kind of rough. But um,
So if I'm Rar, I'm playing to try to maintain my Division 3 standing and just develop my team. I'm not going to do anything crazy to try to win every single game. I'm going to protect my team, develop it, and then if I'm still in the running at the last half of the season, make that playoff push in the last half.
yeah, I forget who he faced in the playoffs, but um, so he has some experience facing a potentially developed team um, with this kind of setup. So he could do well. Again, it's gonna depend on who's first. If he gets matched up with another one of those one season teams, it could go very well because he could get some good development in for that first game. He has a potential level up right here. It really sucks that this Beastman's out, and this is a niggling. Yeah,
I think your
or no, it's just a
stream
miss next game. Did my stream go down?
just thought, and I just noticed now. I don't know how long it's been down. It says it's offline.
Oh. Let us. Here, let's see. Hmm. I'm gonna restart the stream. Or
Oh,
can you
it's
guys
good
hear
for
me?
them. Maybe it's just me.
Okay. All right. So you might need to refresh then.
Okay, if they can still see it, I'll refresh because maybe it's just me.
Cool. But what were you just saying? I forget. Oh yeah, that if he gets the season 1. or
Yeah, if
yeah,
he gets
one
one of
season
the
teams.
less developed teams or one of the non-super killy teams, he'll be okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Give him some time to develop, and he can definitely hold his own. I mean, he proved he can play and get into the playoffs. So
Yeah, I see that Epical asked me a question here in Discord. Um, what to do with that cash? Elf Stadium or buy level and new catchers. So let's see how much cash he has. Oh, I went. Oh, that's Division 1. I'm losing it. There we go. All right, Epical. 140 in cash. And what is your club at right now?
which team are
Level
we
1.
looking at now? Oh,
Epical.
Epical.
Yeah.
The Wood
He's
Elf,
asking
right?
what to do with the cash. Um. Yeah, it's the Wood Elf one.
I got a thrower personally, but
Yeah, you can pick up a thrower. You do have a game to think about it, since it's not eating at your TV. Um, I would honestly say maybe wait that first game to buy anything. Um, just to see how it goes, because you could end up facing a Chaos team or the Chaos Dwarves. Yeah. Since War Dancer is about to get Sprint.
I mean, there's the eventual stadium you always want on Wood Elves is the Wizard, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I have seen people take the
honestly,
Elven Grass.
I've seen it. I don't like it for Wood Elves just because no team takes advantage better from a Wizard except for maybe the Skaven.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
go ahead.
you either save. I was going to say what you said. Either save it up as until you have to spend because you're over 150, or you get a thrower just because a thrower lets you do some vanity passes and you can level a thrower up super quick. Just to get, you know, another player on the team that has some different options.
I agree with what was just said there. Two liners would be good to put on the line.
I mean, he's going to have one. Right now, he's going to have two to put on the line. They're going to be loners.
Yeah, yeah. But
Me, if I'm playing Wood Elves or Skaven, unless I'm really big into my naming, I don't buy linemen unless they play a game as a loner and do good, and then I pick them up.
mhm,
Because I want them on the line. I want loners on my line.
yeah. But for the first game, I'd save it up, and we can go over the topic next week too. Once you have that cash. But yeah, yeah. That's a good move, Doof, for saving that level. Um, el Loner elves are good. Um, the problem is reliability with them, but that goes for any loner. You have 3 team rerolls, so I don't see you as a person who uses a lot of them. If you have 3, I mean, I personally have 4 on my lizard team, but we do a lot of bashing. With Agi 4, definitely not a reroll. I think that would be a bad decision. But yeah, saving it up for a game wouldn't be terrible, because then you're gonna have a lot more kind of insight as to what your season's gonna look like and what's gonna help you in the season. So my suggestion would just be to save it for the one game and see what your team needs from there. Because I mean, you're Wood Elves. You have potential for a War Dancer to go down, stuff like that. So I'd save it up for now.
At the very least, wait till you see who your opponent is, because that even your next week opponent might change that.
Exactly. I think we covered everyone now. Oh,
All the ones that accept their tickets.
somebody came in. Oh, there he is. There we go. So we got another orc team in right at the last second there.
Oh, nana, 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 nanny.
Yeah, I'm never gonna pronounce that. Oh, Onania. I hope I pronounced that right. I think I did. Commanders in Grief. I'll just call it by that. I'm liking the naming scheme already. I'm liking how much guard there is.
A lot of guard there. I like that.
That nice
He's
Agi
got
4
good.
dodge lineman. Um,
I mean, it's nice because he's your only agi. It'd be so much nicer on a blitzer, but you don't have any call over that. That's just luck of the day.
so that's got to be the ball carrier. I mean,
It has to be, but
yeah.
I don't like 5 movement ball carriers personally, but you don't have a choice.
Yeah. I mean, because all these blitzers, they got guard or mighty blood. Like,
Oh yeah, he's got
Jimmy
Jimmy
Farter.
for hands.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I missed that. That sucks that he doesn't have Agi 4 though.
I mean, it gives him a
Yeah.
backup option in case something happens to one, or if he needs to do a handoff or anything.
Yeah. It's really good for repositioning as well.
I do really like these first 2 blitzers here.
Yeah, that first blitzer is really good.
Except I don't like Stanford. Again, it's
The frenzy stand firm. Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Is he a roadblock or is he a? Again, it seems like those are 2 skills that don't go together.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go frenzy, then you're going either tackle or piling on. If you're going to go stand firm, then you're going to go some more of the ones that complement that and let you stay on your feet and do things when you're still on your feet.
Yeah, and that's what I'd call a pineapple pizza. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, I mean, I don't actually remember where he came from. What div did he come from?
He came from
3B. So he's sticking with 3 here. So this is a pretty experienced team then. They've had a lot of games.
His name is familiar, so I'm wondering if I faced him.
A surfer who doesn't want to be counter surfed. But I don't know.
I mean, I get it, but you're orcs. You have plenty of other ways to protect someone who doesn't want to get surfed.
Yeah, and stand firm, like, so he's just stuck there then, really, if they can kind of match your strength.
And I mean, if it's your only frenzy piece, 1 surfer's kind of not. I mean, I get it, the thought, but it just seems odd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean,
and I agree with you that frenzy jug stand firm is a good combo, but
he doesn't have jug yet.
And he only has 2 tackle pieces. Like,
yeah,
can you really afford to be going there with only 2 tackle?
Yeah,
I feel like he's got a lot of potential, and he's definitely going to be able to hold his own against other bashing teams. But I just feel like elves are going to run all over him.
Yeah, he only has 2 tackle. He's gonna struggle.
But Doof, you've got 4 frenzy players. He's got 2. He's got 1.
Yeah. I feel like frenzy on an orc team is odd.
I mean, like I said, I like frenzy on killers because it gives you a second chance without having to burn a reroll for greed.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not his killer. His killer's the one up above.
And then he also has. What do you think about the guard on the frenzy?
I mean, it goes with stand firm, but with the frenzy, again, it's that if you're frenzy, you're the one who wants to deliver the hit, not assist it.
Frenzy is in my opinion, one of the easiest skills to misuse in Blood Bowl. Whether it's putting it on someone or actually using it in the game.
I think a lot of people take it because they see people use it really well, and they're like, "Well, I want that potential," but I think a lot of time that potential just goes wasted.
Yeah, that first blitzer is a monster. I definitely agree with that. If You know what? If that first blitzer had frenzy, I would not say as much. Gotta be
Exactly.
honest.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like that frenzy makes sense on that first guy,
Yeah.
and that's probably what you grab for your legendary skill if he ever gets there.
hmm Um,
Of course, you could roll doubles and get something even better, but
yeah. Those two pieces are definitely the highlight of the team. Definitely. Um,
yeah, I mean this plus Agi lineman. It's hard to say no to Agi as orcs, but what is his purpose? What function does he serve?
yeah. And I understand the taking dodge, but
I mean,
he,
you could. I guess if you get him a few more levels, he becomes a sacker because he's got dodge and plus Agi.
but I think the real question is he gonna take advantage of that and get him the levels because he does have that. He does have Jimmy there.
And that's exactly it. It just becomes a. I don't. I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying I hate it. I wish he was here so he could explain to us
Yeah.
what the purpose was.
Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a one of those situations where it's like, well, he could get that score, but I
Oh
really want
yeah.
to get John the level, so he
Well, I
does
should just point
something
out he has
risky.
2 blodge black orcs, which is always nice.
Yeah, the blodge is great.
No mighty blow on any of those black orcs is a little unfortunate
Yeah,
because it means they're still leveling slow, and you don't have one that's going to level up quick. But that said, they're pretty good for being level 3 already.
yeah, yeah. I think long term, the nobody mighty blow is gonna come to bite him, but um, it is hard to say no to that blodge. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's hard, and guard you always need guard on orcs because that's how you maintain your strength advantage, just by just plugging that guard into the right place.
yeah. Oh, I'm not saying the block guard is a mistake. That's perfectly fine. I'm just saying that,
Oh,
the blodge might be a little hard.
I agree. I'm not saying it's a mistake. It just
Oh,
slows you down a little bit on that development long term. And
yeah.
long term, it's a good thing, but in that midterm, while you're trying to level up, it's
Yeah. Yeah, I have a dodge source. So I'm like, why did I ever take dodge? Like he's never gonna level, and that's exactly what I feel like is gonna happen on the team. Especially, the this orc team is not it's not hurting for players. So getting that just that MVP is gonna be a struggle.
oh, and yeah, that was the I again 9 armor teams with a 13 bench seem weird.
Yeah, yeah. Seems like 1950 TV. I feel like that could definitely be thinned out.
I mean, just fire out that. I personally would just let that block lineman go. And
Mhm. Certainly not the guard. You need the guard,
yeah,
but
no, I mean, if you get doubles on a lineman, you never let that go.
oh yeah. Um,
But yeah,
yes,
other than
I
that,
agree
it's
with
a solid
dodge break
team.
tackle sources being great. It's just hard to get one. um,
It's a great team that's got potential. I just think it needs a little bit more development before it's on a top tier team.
Absolutely. This team I feel like is entirely like it's one of those no safety net teams. So it's going to depend entirely on how well he can perform himself. That's just
Yeah,
my
and just
feeling.
hope that nobody gets some early removals against him
Yeah.
against those 2 blitz that one blitzer that's most of the.
hmm
Yeah, I mean if those blitzers go down early, any of them, any of the 4, that game's going to be a rough game for him.
Yeah, and especially using Lincoln correctly. That I honestly think that's going to be a really big challenge for him. But
I agree with you, and I'm interested to see. I mean, if he's one of the players that's really good with frenzy, that might have been a brilliant choice. If he's, I just think a lot of players take it because they've seen other people use it and then just don't use it as well as
yeah,
it could be.
the positive with that is I now instantly want to watch some of his games, to see how he uses that. But yeah, so I think unless someone else accepted a ticket, nope. Um,
We have 2 people who didn't accept tickets yet. We have Bill to win who I was in the division with him last season. He played a huge sport. Like I mentioned, we had that 6-way tie. Bill to win is a large part of the reason because every time a player played ahead, he would beat them.
Yeah.
He did it so many times. Someone would get ahead of the pack, and he would take them down and stay close enough where he was still a threat. And it's unfortunate he didn't get to join us in this giant tie, but he was definitely the spoiler of the season. He beat Spagooters, for example. Having played him, I actually did beat him when I played him. Like all Necro teams, he was very reliant on his wolves. I don't think that's a function of being a bad coach. That's just how Necro play.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
I'm looking
Let's
for
see.
team now.
Yeah,
On
I'm doing the same thing.
He was in 4C.
Ah, there he is. All right. Unfortunately, I can't put the screen up on it right now. I'm gonna work on that for next week, guys, in case I need it. But we'll just kind of describe any interesting pieces he has
So
here.
one of his wolves does have Mighty Blow.
Yep, and if Rebel.net is correct, both of them have Claw. So that's
How do they
a.
start with it?
Oh wait, I don't know why. Oh, it's because one of my guys took Thick Skull one time,
Oh,
and and I was like harping on the Claw Thick Skull instead of the Claw Mighty Blow.
I was in that division. It's because 3 games in a row we killed his werewolves.
Right, I remember that.
I started. He failed to dodge against my mummy and died horribly, and then 2 more games in a row. Same wolf he kept buying, kept dying.
Oh yeah, so you guys know, me and Snow, we played in. It was season 11. It was Division 5E, I believe. So yeah, we have a bit of a history together, and he beat me 2-1, which I'm a little salty about, but it was because I made a mistake.
I am salty about how that ended. I went 9-0 to start that season, and then missed playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, you got gypped.
I didn't get to play that Pro Elf team everyone got to beat up on. He dropped out right before I got to play him. And that hurt because I lost it. The coach that replaced him was Sheaz, who's really good.
Yeah.
And it was like, instead of getting this punching bag, I have to play this really good player. I'm a little salty.
Yeah. So, anyway, back to build a win here.
The werewolves are both blodgers. Like I said, the one has the Mighty Blow, the other sidestep. Other than that, it looks like standard development. He does have a blodge flesh golem as well, which is blodge firm. So he puts guard on that, and that flesh golem is just a beast.
Yeah. Pretty standard flesh golem with the just block there. But
and then
it's always
he's got a kick zombie, a dirty player zombie. That's normal stuff. His ghoul is pretty normal stuff. Blodge, sure.
Yeah, he's got 4 regular zombies, so nothing too interesting there. He does have a level soon.
I don't know if you noticed that one down at the bottom, Inky.
Yeah.
His name is in black because we came from Spoony Bard's team. Spoony Bard has all of his players' name in black. So yeah, Inky was his trophy from beating one of the really good playoff coaches this year.
Yeah. There's not too much. I mean, you know, the ghoul, blodge, sure hands, pretty standard, but it's pretty standard for a reason.
I mean, there's nothing that's not the standard on this team.
Yeah.
It is nice to have that Mighty Blow on the wolf, obviously.
Yeah, that's really the standout piece to me is that wolf, because he's definitely, you know.
The other standout is that he has 0 stat ups on this team.
Yeah, that is true. So luckily you guys aren't facing a strength 4 claw mighty blow, so that's always a good one.
Right, or Agi 4 wolves that go wherever the hell they want.
Yeah, or Agi 4 ghoul. That's also a struggle sometimes.
That brings back bad memories.
But yeah, pretty standard team. I think it's again one of those teams that's going to be dependent on how well the coach can limit risk. Or maybe not risk, but unneeded risk. So,
yeah, I mean, like Necro, it's because you have two werewolves, you're in any. It'd be really nice for him to just get those flesh golems to get them guard, because that's the other thing he's lacking on his team. He's got 0 guard,
Mm-hmm.
which means despite being necro, he's going to get bullied a lot without any guard.
Yeah. And then who's the other guy? Let's
The other one was
Klepto Knight, who is playing human. That's an interesting one.
What division did he come from? 4B?
What's it? I'm just control Fing. So I will tell you in a second.
I think 4B.
4D.
No, 4D.
He actually did very well in 4D as well. He got the 3rd place with a 7-win, 4 draws, 2 loss, and a 9 touchdown differential. So he did pretty good for a human team. Well, actually, I'd say really good for a human team. They're really just fundamentals. So
Yeah.
and
I mean, yeah.
oh boy,
Human teams are as good as their stat ups, and this guy's got
yeah, yeah. He is not gonna be wanting for stat ups.
3 plus agis and a plus movement. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
So guys, apparently we're allowing mixed teams, so you're gonna have some elves to deal with on this human team. Just some, stat up. Well, they could be high elves, so. But yeah, I mean, let's see, nothing too interesting on the ogre. He's got a damage back, so that's.
He's got 2 niggled players, which hurts.
Yeah. Pretty
A
standard
movement bust
ogre,
and
though.
bust.
Yeah. Movement bust is on a blitzer. It's a block, mighty blow, guard, piling on. So
It's a killer blitzer.
nothing. Yeah. Nothing
And
too
then
out of the
the
ordinary.
armor bust is on his plus agi catcher, which hurt.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's got the thrower developed, and he's got the catcher where he can actually try real catching plays without them being desperate. Which is nice for a human team to actually be able to do 1 in 64 passing plays instead of 1-9s.
Yeah. Yeah. The agi up on the 3 players is definitely going to be what makes his team stand out, in my opinion. Because everything else is pretty standard.
Yeah, it all looks standard. Again, he's low on the tackle, but he's high on the guard. So
yeah, only 2 tackle pieces. So as long as you get away from the blitzers, that you don't have to really worry about that.
I feel like this 3rd blitzer is about to get tackled to Richard.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what he does with his linemen, because
a guard lineman, that's always a good one. Let's see.
So
yeah, there's really.
If I just counted, he has 5 guard on this team already. 6.
6, yeah.
So that might be the 2nd most in the division, behind the dwarves.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a dwarf team's gonna have tons of guard, but yeah, this human team's gonna be a pain to deal with. It looks like. And he has the record to show that he can play very well. So
he definitely does. So I would definitely watch this. If there's gonna be a human team that's one to watch this year, it's gonna be this one, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, nothing else too out of the ordinary for this team. But the stat ups are really what's making the team. So yeah, he's definitely going to be a tough opponent to face, as long as he accepts his ticket.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anybody knows these guys, reach out to them, poke them, get them to accept their ticket.
Or somehow, if they're watching right now and haven't accepted their ticket, accept your ticket. Because that helps out the admins, as you guys know. You guys are Div 3. You've been in, so.
Also, if any of you disagree with how because a lot of teams I know I said that you did that I disagree. feel free to message me and tell me what you were thinking, and maybe you'll change my mind. That's my opinion, but I would love to hear what you really thought when you were building some of these players.
Yeah, same for me. If
Because
oh, go ahead.
I just said because maybe you're thinking something I'm not even thinking about.
Hmm. Same for me. If you guys have anything, you guys want me to mention or um, you disagreed with, let me know. And also, I'm always welcome to feedback for how we can do these a little bit better. This one ran a little bit long, probably.
The
So we'll,
Precap usually does because we'll
yeah,
get introduced to everybody.
yeah. But now that we're kind of in, um, it'll go a bit shorter. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the matchups are and what the season's gonna be looking like. Um, we'll probably keep these to Tuesday nights.
Works for me.
Yeah. I don't get.
I have a bitterness I haven't gotten over. I'm willing to offer some sort of on-air reward to whoever kills that
The what? You cut
Spagooter's
out for me.
to kill Spagooter's bowl, the 5 strength.
Oh, okay.
It wrecked my team. That bowl alone wrecked my team.
All right, so you guys heard it here. Go out and kill Seth here, and you'll get some sort of reward apparently.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Um.
I'm just a bitter, vengeful man, so
Yeah. Oh, Yeah. I would
he
say go out
killed
and
my
kill this gutter runner, but I'm sure you guys are already thinking that, so no need for me to do that. Did I interrupt you, Snow?
no.
Okay. Um. Hey, Jericho. Did you did you? Oh, hey. Okay, I thought you were saying hi again. It's like, Jericho, you might want to get your head checked there. Um. But But yeah, so yeah, we'll probably keep this to Tuesday nights unless anything changes. We'll let you guys know. Um, does him dying from a GFI count? That's a good question. I think that's up to Snow.
Does the whoever's playing him when it dies gets credit?
Okay, so that answers your question. So wizard it if you have to. um, but yeah, so yeah, we definitely. I'm a first-time recapper, and so is Snow. So definitely let us know what we can improve on, because we want to make this as good for you guys as possible. Once we get into the season, we'll be doing some kind of recaps on games we watched and stuff like that. So it'll get more interesting, but we just want to introduce everybody. So
And I'm a bit limited what I could do right now. I'm waiting on a new computer. I'll have a new computer in a couple weeks here, and I will be up to full speed. Yeah, I'll be more able. And like he said, if you have any requests, let us know. We want to make a good show for you guys.
yeah. So guys, have a good first game. If you guys haven't played it, and I guess Tuesday will be the next time we see you guys. At least on air. I'm sure we'll be chatting in the Discord. I do all the time. So yeah. With that, we're gonna end this real quick. If you guys want to rewatch it, it'll be on my Twitch channel for 14 days. And then I'm gonna record every recap from now on. So I'll also be streaming my games if anyone wants to watch that, but I'm not too great, so I don't blame you if you don't want to watch me. So yeah, guys, take care and good luck in your first game.
Have a great week, guys.
All right. He's the only reason I get win. Well, hopefully he does die, Jericho. I'll be the mean recapper. All right. Thank you guys for watching. All right. See y'all later.